Hi, everybody. It's Craig back with Doc Sports, Doc's Daily Show. And every day, 1 o'clock to 1:30 Eastern Standard Time, sometimes a few minutes extra, and probably will be today as we got the OG Tony George with us, of course, to join the three amigos today. And
drum roll, baby.
We got a little, settle up of the bet come Vegas time, right, Nick? I mean,
Yes, sir. I'm thinking Spagos, maybe Lago. Griff, what do you think?
The hell with both of you. I'm calling double down.
Outright.
We'll get to that in
Blazers win outright. So don't forget, though, it's Tuesday, the 4th of March, and we're going to have a free play from each of us in definitely the NBA and college basketball. Maybe a couple of us have plays in NHL. You never know, but that will be at the end. But don't forget, make sure you use that promo or use that code docsports.com/free60, the free $60 account if you're a new customer. That way you don't miss out. It's no obligations. You don't have to give a credit card. No, all you got to do is give your information, verify that, and then use the $60 in your account to purchase whatever you want. It's $30 per sport per day or $99 per week per sport. So you can use that towards a week pass, or if you just want to buy the two individual plays for today. I do know we got several big plays today. Tony George, big 7-unit play he hit his 8-unit play. What was that last week, right, Tony?
Yeah. Just roll one right into the other. Just keep buttering the bread, baby. It's March. It's March Madness. It's time to go. Opportunity strikes. I don't have a lot of them. Actually, I'm probably one of the guys on the website that probably have the least amount of top plays because I'm old school conservative, but nonetheless, I yanked the cork tonight. Let's get it.
Yeah, so not only do you get the 7-unit, also another play in college basketball. So if you use the $30, you get 2 plays. So that second one has a little bonus, a little, as they say, sprinkle on the top. Nick, what do you have big for tonight? Anything?
Yeah, we got a 6-unit NBA in my last 10 plays. We're 7-3 right now. We're up 18-20. So looking to capitalize. We hit last week our 7-unit best bet with Portland on Wednesday. Looking to keep that streak alive here tonight. And we also got NHL. We got a nice little 2-pack, and also college basketball. We have a 2-pack. So staying hot in college basketball, 61 plays. We're 41-20 here, over $9,000. So we're going to keep on keeping it on tonight, Craig.
I mean, we should skip Griffin since he gave.
The hell with both. Yeah, the hell with every one of you. You know what? The hell with when we're gonna get into this in a minute, and we're gonna double down on that crap. Well, go ahead, Craig. Go ahead.
All right. So Nick, Griffin, what do you got? Any big plays tonight?
No big plays tonight, but we got our 8-unit play of the year on the hardwood NBA tomorrow. So we're playing cool. We passed today on NBA. 7-3 in my last 10 on college hoops. I got a 2-pack tonight in college hoops. I'm on the ice as well. I've got 2 plays, same game action, 6 units in total, 4 units on a side, 2 units on a total. So we're locked and loaded and ready to go, Craig.
All right. I got 1 7-unit play in college hoops tonight. Been red hot 8-3 the last 8-9 days in college hoops. So 3 other plays, smaller plays in the other sports. So make sure you take advantage of that. Use that free 60. Go to that. Of course, if you're an existing user, all right, we're not leaving you out. Just go to the grid and you'll see all the big play alerts and who has what, because there's plenty of experts up there. And it's a big day today as we've got conference tournaments starting this week. It's a big day. March Madness starts for real this week. All right, let's start because Tony is college hoops and it's that time of year. Oh, don't forget the Premium Plus. You can get the Indian Cowboy package. Here at YouTube, just hit the subscribe and join, $19.99. If you want the Premium Plus, it's $49.99, and that includes the Indian Cowboy, so it's just an extra $30. So we had 3. They did 3-0 yesterday, 3-0. So let's do it. All right, let's start college hoops. Let's go. We're going to give you a chance to go right away, Griffin, to kind of get this money back. So tell us what you like in free play here for college hoops.
All right, we're going to call this a double down. You guys let me know, agree or disagree here. And we got BYU at Iowa State. Current line, Iowa State laying 9.5 points. Total sitting at 150.5. BYU, they've won 6 consecutive games. They're 21-8 on the year. Iowa State, they're just 5-5 in their last 10 games. But we have 2 ranked opponents going head-to-head in tonight's matchup. Why in the hell is this line nearly double digits? Automatic trap, automatic wager. Give me Iowa State here. Lay the wood, as Nick likes to say. Lay the 9.5. Who's fighting me? Tony, where we at?
Tony, you want a piece of this?
Come on.
First of all, Murphy went to college at Ames till they kicked him off campus.
We're gonna
this
get this on the download, Tony.
So
Thanks,
this is a little bit of bitterness on his part, and he should know that when you see a line that's too good to be true, you got to stay away. You got to bet with it, not against it. And what is the toughest place to play in the Big 12? It's not Lubbock, Texas. It's not Fog Allen. It's Hilton Coliseum, Hilton Magic. So steak and a beer, give me the Cyclones.
Let's go, baby. I got one. Who's against us?
I'm doubling down. I mean, 2 Spagos sounds better than 1. So, like, I'll take Iowa State. Now, remember, when Iowa State was losing, they had their 2 guards out, their 2 starters out in several of these losses. So it's a little deceiving how they played in the last handful of games because they were extremely injured. They actually played, I think it was Houston.
They played them tough,
right down to the wire, as good as anybody else has done all year. So, yeah, I'll double down. Nick, you doubling down?
I guess we're all on Iowa State after what they did to Arizona at home. I cannot go against that team. It was actually a parlay buster. I had Arizona on a teaser in that game, and Iowa State just absolutely blew them out. I'm not going against them, especially at home. No way.
I think they're the second best team in the Big 12. I think Houston is for real. Like, last year, they only didn't go far because the point guard got injured in the tournament. And they still gave everybody hell up to that. I just think Houston's a bear. But Iowa State, if healthy, we remember, weren't they the Maui Classic, Tony, when we saw them play? And they played some of the best teams, including Auburn, right down to the wire. So
and they play. I was real impressed. You alluded to it. I was real impressed how they played Houston down 2 of their best guys. I mean, and the game they played against Arizona here the other night, last time I saw them play, Tyrese Halliburton was at the game, an ex Cyclone. He was on the sideline or side there on court side, but they really put it. The thing about Iowa State, if they start hitting threes, they can play with anybody in the country. If they're not hitting threes, then it's a different story. And, I know we're busting Griffin's chops a little bit. BYU is not without merit. I mean, this is a good basketball team. They've shredded some people, and they've had some big, impressive wins, but a lot of those big, impressive wins were at home. We'll see how they do with the little Hilton Magic tonight.
Yeah, 14-2 at home this year. I mean, them and BYU, the Utah schools in the Big 12, you do not. They beat both of these Kansas back-to-back games just like a week and a half ago. So these are tough places to go play. But do remember, it is senior night. This is the week of senior night. So today, all the way through next week, they're all going to be senior night games for the most part. So just be careful. Sometimes, these lines look a little crazy. It's because these guys are playing with a lot of motivation. Especially, I like underdogs on senior night. But we'll talk a little more about that here in a second. Nick, why don't you go with the next free pick here for college hoops?
Yeah, let's get a little hidden gem here in the Big 12. We got West Virginia and Utah. Utah's -3.5 right now. And we know that Utah at home is a completely different team than they are on the road here. And so does the public. Utah at home, they're 15-3. West Virginia on the road, they've been struggling all year. 3-7 here. What West Virginia struggles to do is score over 65 points. But what they do very well is they play defense very tough. I think that this West Virginia defense is going to step it up here in Utah. I understand that Utah is very good at home here, but I love the Mountaineers in this one to pull the upset. I would sprinkle some on the money line, but to be safe, I'm going West Virginia +3.5 tonight in Utah, Craig.
Careful on this game. Just like double take on this game. The interim coach at Utah, guess who was the interim coach of last year? West Virginia. Eifert, I think it's Eifert. He took over for Huggins when he, was suspended, and then eventually he resigned. And now he's the interim coach. He did get a win last time out, his first win. So I think that's a little worry. And it is senior night, so be careful. Utah is like, I think this is one of those dangerous teams. I don't know, Tony, if you have any opinion on this as far as the NIT. They're definitely going to be an NIT if they accept the bid, which I don't know why you wouldn't. But this is a team that, like, if they get home games,
The thing that jumped off the board at me in this game, and I basically along the lines of what Nick alluded to, the under 134 might be in play in this one as well. Yeah. I think that might be a way I'd lean here. I understand the senior night angle. But if you're a shitty team, that's just who you are, Utah is a different animal at home, but I think this one here, West Virginia's failed to produce points on the road. And I think this, and they'll play to their strength, which is their defense. They want to get into a half-court game here and, eat some clock. I would definitely, they want to get on a half-court game on both sides of the ball. So I would lean under more now. I think the line's about right, and whenever I see a line that's sharp, I'll probably lean towards the dog, but I think under 134.5 is kind of where it was at last I looked. And that's one I actually had circled today. I had that around 128 to 130.
I mean, if it's one of those games, if you like West Virginia, it's kind of like a correlated parlay. You kind of got to love the under because, I mean, Small is really good. Like, that dude can score, but he's it. Like they double, triple team him. If you watch the Baylor game, they took him to overtime. He's throwing the guys wide open. I mean, there's not a guy in the gym, it felt like, and they just brick. And then Baylor won that. Since then, they haven't played that well. Tony, what about a free pick for everybody here today?
Well, I'm those of you that follow me, I do some specialize in a lot of the smaller conferences. There's a big game tonight in the American East. The Catamounts, Vermont, they are in a dogfight with Bryant in this conference. They sit at 12-3. Vermont does. Bryant 13-2. I believe Bryant's playing New Hampshire tonight. They're a big favorite. They'll probably beat them up. So this is a must-win game for Vermont. The number's around 4.5. They're taking on an Albany team. Albany, last one, 63-62 against Vermont. Unfortunately, that was in January of 2021. Vermont has owned them 9 straight games. They're 11-2 at home. They've already beat Albany by 6 on the road. The Great Danes in a little bit of trouble here. You're going to get a real good effort out of Vermont. I'd lean on them tonight -4.5.
Craig muted.
Sorry, guys. I had this game circled too, Tony. And the only reason I didn't give it out as one of my premium plays is it almost looked too good to be true.
I know.
So much on the line for this team. I mean, and I believe, isn't this one of the conferences that actually whoever wins the conference hosts the conference tournament?
That's right. And,
so it's like even bigger like that.
But Vermont, also bear in mind, they're 8-0 their last 8 straight up. They're playing. That's one thing I look at right now. And, you talk about these conference tournaments coming up. And anybody who's followed me for any amount of time that is not living under a rock knows I'm a huge Mo Valley guy. So Arch Madness. But you always kind of look at teams, not the Drake and the Bradley, but who's been playing so well down the stretch. In these smaller conferences that enter these tournaments as a 3 or 4 or 5 seed and jump up and scare some people. But I like the way I like the Vermont's playing their best basketball this season. Yeah. If I wouldn't have had a 7-unit play and I threw in another small card, I would have had a triple header day. Like you, I would have made this a premium, but I thought I'd save it for the show, and they'll win 64-60 and screw everybody on the hook. Sorry about that in advance, but I'm going to lay it anyway.
All right. So you know what he told you? Play maybe a little teaser. Find you another game, little teaser. You never know. But I will say,
tease them.
That conference is going to be a great conference tournament. Actually, the Missouri Valley, because even though Drake had a really good season, Drake's they had to replace the whole team. They lost their coach. They got that. I love their little point guard, the blonde head kid that's a Division II transfer. Yeah, he's had a great year, but it's not like these teams are like that. The difference isn't that big.
Yeah, and the one thing, Drake, the only team with a better record in college basketball than Drake is Auburn. But bear this in mind. I don't think they get past the first round of the NCAA tournament because they rely on Sturt so much. Yep. He handles the ball 80%, 90% of the time and doesn't give it up. And you can get by with that in the Mo Valley against Missouri State and Evansville, but you get in this NCAA tournament, they're going to give somebody a good game in round 1, depending on where they come in at. I think even if they lose an Arch Madness, they're still going to make the tournament with an at-large because of their record. I think Bradley's got a chance to beat them. But at day's end, don't get real high on Drake advancing deep into that tournament. I'm sure you're going to do a March Madness show, and I'm sure you're going to beg me to be on it.
Yep.
So we'll talk about it then.
I will say this: I don't even like them in their conference tournament because
they're
like
scary.
they play their dudes lots of minutes, and that's tough to play 2-3 games in a row.
Yeah.
Like that works when you have 2 or 3 days to prepare. I do think they're an awesome team to watch because it's a great story. You have some big transfers up, and when you go up divisions, I always like that. When you're transferring from Michigan State to Vandy, like the Hogarth kid, like you're going from these are still big time college basketball leagues. So, but I like when these kids get the chance to move up their last year, sometimes last 2 years. So I do think it's a good story. All right, I got a little free play for you as well. I'm not going to go too much because I want to get to the NBA. But Rutgers, Purdue, I like the over in this matchup. Overs 152.5. This Purdue team at home, they're scoring 80. Like I don't understand. Matt Painter is like, I guess he figures like we don't have Edey anymore. We got to get some easier baskets, and the great guard play. I just think this one goes over. Rutgers has also been a huge over team on the road. The Harper kid, like if you guys haven't watched them play this year, watch this game tonight because he's going to be a top 5 pick. And there's a lot of people that think like he could be as good a prospect as Cooper Flagg because Cooper Flagg's already is like, I'm going to say as good as he's going to be, but he's already like he's developed himself to the point. And not that Harper hasn't. He has some elite, obviously his dad's Ron Harper, if you guys don't know, played in the NBA, won some championships, if you know the Chicago Bulls. So I like the over in this matchup tonight. I think it'll be a good one. I think it'll be a better game than actually the line says too. 11 points.
Rutgers has scored 80 plus 3 in a row, and all 3 of those games over 160 points. And Rutgers has got some freshmen that are just off the chain.
The number 4 kid, I always forget his name, Ace or something. I forget him, but there's a lot of people think he's going to be like a 15 to 20 round. Like he'll probably come out this year too. So like these 2 dudes are as good, other than Duke, as far as freshmen. These are the best 2 freshmen on any other team other than Duke this year. So good story. And they lost 4 in a row, right? Purdue, people were talking about them being a number 2 seed. They got to end this losing streak tonight. So I think they're going to be all out. And it's senior night for these guys. So I think there'll be a lot of points scored in this one. All right, let's go NBA action. Not a huge card tonight, but I think some gems here. I mean, I'm going to let you go first, Nick, because if we let Griffin, we might end up with like triple that. He might end us. We're going to be in Vegas for the Sweet 16.
You're Monday. Buying me dinner, boys.
There's going to be a lot of dinners. There's going to be a lot of dinners in Vegas when we go.
Me and you might not have to pay the whole time.
Yeah, and I was going to skip that trip. Now I got to probably come out.
Come on, Tony, you're flying out. I was going to call you after this.
Anytime you can get Murphy to pull a credit card out, you got to show up.
Tequila, baby.
All right, let's look at this. We got the Houston Rockets and the Indiana Pacers. Pacers minus 3.5, total sitting at 231.5. Houston just got done with probably the fastest team in the NBA, Oklahoma City Thunder. They lost that game by 9. They're playing back-to-back games here. And this Indiana team, they're no different. They're 9th in offensive points per game. They're 10th in pace of play. It's not going to get any easier for this Houston Rockets team in keeping up with the Indiana Pacers, especially at home. They're 18-9 on the season at home. I know the Rockets and the public are going to stay away from the Houston Rockets because they just played back-to-back here. But I love the Indiana Pacers in this game tonight, laying the 3.5 over the Houston Rockets tonight, Craig.
Yeah, this is one of those hidden, like, if you don't pay attention to who played who yesterday, and, like, you might think, oh, Houston has a shot to win this game, and then you're like, anytime it's kind of like the last year, whoever played the Lions, the next week, they were one of the worst teams against the spread because they just wore you out, ran you up and down, both offense and defense. It's just such a physical and up and down game. It has an effect next time out. The Oklahoma City Thunder are that team in the NBA because they can play. They can score. Like, they got their 50th win last night. SGA had 50, and they can score 130 every night. So you got to get on your horse and you play them. So I like that game there. Griffin, why don't you go next? NBA free play here.
Yeah, Craig. So we've got Milwaukee rolling into Atlanta. Atlanta's coming off a really stout win last night. They beat Memphis in a high-scoring 130-132 final, I want to say. They're playing back-to-backs here. So obviously that's automatically going to grab the public's attention. Also, on top of that, Milwaukee, they are a stout defense, and they run a very high tempo and pace of play. The biggest issue with this Milwaukee Bucks team this season has been they are absolutely terrible on the road. They just continue to fail covering spreads on the road. Atlanta right now, due to the fact that this team is young and they thrive on pace of play and points per game. I love them at home getting 6.5 points. They're currently 2 games below 500 at home. They're 5-5 in their last 10 games. But after beating the Grizzlies in your most recent matchup, when you have the public herd going to be all over the other side, this is one of those trap incentive games in my eyes where you just have to take the Atlanta Hawks here with the points at home on back-to-backs. I just see this as a total trap, total mismatch. Give me the Hawks here in this one, Craig, plus the 6.5 points.
I kind of think you got to play them on the money line if you like them tonight, because Atlanta's either going to come out and be ready to go. They're ready to go. And they're going to get blitzed. I just don't think they'll keep it within, like, hey, keep it within 5 or 6. They're either like, hey, we're going to put that was an unbelievable win. First of all, you didn't see it. Go look at the highlights. The other team had the ball. Memphis had the ball. They got a steal. And LeVert has an unbelievable Euro step at the buzzer to win the game. And I mean, like, the fans, everybody on the floor is like, I can't believe this happened. But it was a great win. I think that could be momentum for tonight. And this is a Bucks team that, remember, they're still without Bobby Portis. 6th man of the year, or at least will be up for 6th man of the year. So he had that suspension for the taking the wrong kind of prescription painkiller or whatever. So this wasn't a deep team to begin with. So good pick. I like that one. Sprinkle on the money line. Sprinkle on the money line. Maybe you put a couple hundred there, and that will pay for the Spago dinner or 2 dinners that you're going to owe. You're going to owe us. Tony, what do you like as a free NBA pick?
Well, Nick stole my thunder. I had Indy. Houston drained the tank last night. They're still without Van Vliet. They've got a lot of injuries. They don't have any bench at all right now, and they ran their legs in the ground. But I'll throw in so if you're going to put a half a unit on a free pick, make it a full unit. We're in unison there. I think the Pacers get it done. I might take a look at Phoenix tonight. They opened up at -1. Now they're at home getting 2. And Powell's not going to play for the Clippers. You never know what you're going to get with the Suns. They're just a veritable potpourri of just, yanking your hair out every time you have. If you take them, they dump. If you go against them, they play like they're in the NBA Finals. It's freaking maddening. But,
I know.
At home tonight, I'd give a small lean on them, but I'm with Nick. I had Indy written. A matter of fact, that was a free video play over on Doc's channel today too. And also my bonus play, Craig, was Purdue Rutgers over on the same video. So like mine, stake alike.
Tony's locked in.
Yeah, so either we're all rocket scientists or we're all boneheads today. We're going to find out.
All right, I got a little gem for you. But I have one question for you, Nick. You don't have courtside seats for the Chicago Bulls tonight, and
I do not. But if I need to bet on them to go the other way, I'll get them.
We're safe then. I'm taking your Chicago Bulls tonight plus 12. This Cleveland Cavaliers team. They're kind of like, now that they beat Boston, they're kind of in the driver's seat. I won't say they can't lose the number 1 seed. It would really take something special for them to lose. And they're so deep. I think this is a team that's like, they're going to play less minutes to their starters the rest of the way, especially in games like this, where they're like, hey, we're going to win the game. We're going to try to win the game, but we're going to try to keep all of our guys healthy and everybody involved. The Chicago Bulls have been playing a little better, since the trade deadline, and kind of all that, distraction is left now. I like the Bulls here. I don't think they're going to win. I think this is one of those like dominating Cleveland win by 9, 10 points. To win in the NBA by double digits is extremely tough on the road. That's just like, it's just, people just get carried away because they look at the record disparity and they're like, this is a bad team. You're correct. They're a bad team versus a good team. Bad teams beat good teams in the NBA all the time. Look at last night. We just talked about it. The Hawks beat the Grizzlies, which I think are top 3 team in the West. So there's a little free play action. All right, so we don't have that much time.
Craig, I have a question for you. You saw, and I watched that game on Monday night between Cleveland and Boston. 7-game series. 7-game series. You saw the Eastern Conference Finals Monday night. 7-game series. Who could take that?
I still think Boston's the best team if healthy. When healthy, I think both teams, and I don't think it's close. I think they'd win in 5 or 6.
Yeah.
I just think there's a higher ceiling.
Porzingis.
They gotta have him.
Porzingis is different. Yeah.
Like, the difference is really Cleveland. It's going to come down to Mobley. Can Mobley? he's like their budding superstar. As great as their guard play is, like he's a mismatch nightmare. He can hit threes.
Yep.
He's the best defender on the court. I think he has a chance to win Defensive Player of the Year. And like they can go small because he can play center. So I think he would have to have just an unbelievable series to even force it to say 6 or 7. I just think Boston, like they have that turn it up notch, where it's like, okay, they have 10.5 or 11. And most teams, especially in the East, I just don't think have that. So,
and one thing that scares the shit out of me is you rarely see a team at home in a big game have a 25-3 lead and lose.
Yeah, I was actually at the American Legion. It was I forget, they had some kind of drawing, like these places have gambling every night. I was there to watch it, and everybody's around here is a Cavs fan, and I said they're down 25-2. Everybody's like, turn it off. I'm like, dude, in the NBA, this is when you want to bet them. Because there is more 20-point, teams that are up 20 that lose outright in the NBA than I've ever seen before. It's the way that they shoot threes. You get hot, and all of a sudden you go cold. The other team gets hot. It's like it's 4 possessions, and all of a sudden you're right back in the game. So great win for Cleveland. Not even the series, I believe, at 2-2. And Cleveland, the 2 games they won, they were down double digits in the fourth quarter in both games. It came back once at home and once on the road. So at least that gives you a little confidence if you're a Cleveland fan or like the coaches and like hey, we can play with these guys, we've proven it. I just think Boston is kind of like, I'm not saying going through the motions, but somewhat, they're like, let's just get healthy and let's stay healthy. Drew Holiday being injured too is like, I mean, he's banged up, so I think he's such a key guy for them because I think he's the best on-ball defender. We saw it in the Olympics. So all right, Nick, let's throw out an NHL free play for those NHL lovers out there. You're kind of our ice hockey guru here. What do you like here in NHL play tonight?
Yeah, let's look at the Winnipeg Jets and the New York Islanders here. The total sitting at 5.5. The Jets, they're coming in this game on a 2-game losing streak, just losing at home to the Philadelphia Flyers 2-1. Hellebuyck was in net. This man is averaging under 2 goals per game given up here. Hellebuyck. And the Islanders will have their backup goalie here in net. He has only 1 game started on the season. This is strictly a bounce-back game for Hellebuyck and the Jets here. I absolutely love the Jets. Not on the money line, as the money line's sitting at a -190. Take them on the puck line. I think we can get some good value here at a plus. I believe it's 115 on the puck line. I love the Winnipeg Jets over the New York Islanders here.
Craig, it's parlay time. You're muted.
You like an NHL play tonight too?
Yeah, I do.
All right, tell us what you like.
We got a parlay on the money line. We got Columbus rolling into Tampa to play the Lightning. The Lightning are -165, total sitting at 6.5. Tampa Bay 8-1-1 in their last 10 games, coming off an in-state rivalry matchup loss last night to Florida in a 2-1 final. This is a vengeance spot for Tampa Bay. They're stellar 21-7 at home this season. Columbus, they're pretty good at home, but on the road, absolutely atrocious. They're 10-16. Give me Tampa Bay on the money line -165. Nick, what do you think about that parlay? We 2-teaming it? Let's do it, baby. That's the 2-team juicer.
Hey, last night we gave you a little gem. I said Chicago Blackhawks. They were a big underdog. They win. It was never in doubt. They won outright. So
plus 210 money line. Come on.
Yeah. Tony, we appreciate you coming on. As always, the OG. I've known Tony since day one in the business. I'm going on 20 years.
What are your first podcasts? I hate to throw it out there.
Yeah, Picks and Parlays podcast. Yep.
Picks and Parlays podcast with you know who.
With Mitch and Blog Talk Radio back in the day.
But when you guys were lean, I had that national radio show at the time. They could, come on, let's do this podcast. Help us out. We just, little.
Who would have thought?
Nick and Griff were still in middle school.
They were probably like 4 years old. You guys were what, 25? It was 20 years ago.
I don't even think Murphy had hit puberty yet, but we were doing a podcast. So
as I'm getting ready to throw a compliment out at you, here we go.
No. But nonetheless, Craig and I, dude, we go back.
We had a website called Sports Free Plays. Sports Free Plays.
We did.
We had a website together way back. I mean, that was probably 18 years ago, 20 years ago with the podcast. So we've known each other forever. So to come back, I've been here now 2 months at Doc Sports. To come back together, it's been a great 2 months.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, we've got some exciting stuff coming up. Like Tony mentioned it, we're going to have some March Madness specials where not only for Docs Daily, but we're going to do a March Madness special with a lot of our experts. We're kind of organizing that now. We're not that far away, but we'll make sure you stay tuned. You like and subscribe, and so that way you don't miss out on everything. And then don't forget, we're also going to have some more premium content that's available. You get 3 free plays every day, the Premium Plus. So make sure you check that out. If you click the link in the description, it's in there, or you just go, if you hit the subscribe button and then join, you can have a choice. You get the $19.99 Indian Cowboy. If you pay the $30 extra, you get both. $40.99 and gets you 3 plays every day from Doc Sports guys. Some of these guys here will be included in those plays every day. So make sure you check it out and join in here at YouTube.
I'd like to give a quick shout out, Craig, really quick. First time on Docs Daily with Tony. Tony put me on the map. I did a Gridiron 6-pack with Tony. Absolutely ripped it up. Love being on the show with you again, Tony. I don't know where I'd be in this industry without you, brother. You know I love you.
Hey.
And I always love being on camera with you, my man.
Tony, did he say like 6-pack? Did he think that you were just giving him a 6-pack of beer and that's why he showed up?
Well, that's how I talked him into doing the show. But yeah, we've had 2 years there. First year we went 68% for the over 110 game sample size. Yep. I think this year we were around 58%. So we'll find a happy medium in season 3. And it is nice that Doc's has been around for 53 years. Craig and I'm longer in the tooth than about anybody besides Sprites are on there. But it's nice to see new faces, big-time talent, and the younger guys like Griffin, Nick coming in, August Young, another young cat. And, I'm excited about what's on deck this year. And excited for baseball coming up after a record-setting year. So, and
4 weeks away, right? We're like,
that's right, man.
It's 4 weeks from this Monday or Sunday. Like it's less than 4 weeks away. So
so I'm excited about March Madness too. And thanks for the shout out, Griff. And Nick, anytime you want to start kissing my ass, feel free to jump in.
Come to Vegas with us, Tony. Come on.
Yeah, we're going to be there. We're coming the Sunday of the first round. We're going to be there, and then all the way through the Sweet 16, Tony. So you got to come out. We already got. We're throwing it out there. We're putting a little pressure on our production team. We got a studio already reserved for Monday afternoon where we're going to cover all the games. I think Scott Spreitzer is going to come over, so we're going to have a bunch of us guys. And we'll film every game. We're going to have a free play on every game. So make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. You don't want to miss out on
super high-end studio. Scott and I did a Super Bowl special there at that studio. Great. Real nice spot. And you guys will, if I make it, I'm still up in the air, but if I don't make it, it'll be must-see TV for sure.
Well, let's just say this. If Iowa State wins tonight, we're one extra dinner to being able to come. All right, guys, have a great day. Hope all your bets are winning ones. See us tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And make sure you like and subscribe. You don't miss out on all the stuff we do here daily.